Hello and welcome to Theme Park History Episode 5. Today we are going a bit deeper into the history archives with a view into Belle Vue Zoological Gardens in Manchester. Let's begin with a brief overview, then follow with some more detail. The business opened in June 1836. The various entities within the Zoological Gardens closed as follows. The zoo closed the 11th of September 1977. The amusement park closed on the 26th of October 1980. The gardens, exhibition halls and speedway tracks closed between 1982 to 1987. The exact location of Belle Vue was Gorton, Manchester, England. So that's the overview complete. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so thanks to the innovation of John Jennison, Belle Vue took its first customers in 1836. At first, Belle Vue was aimed at middle-class gentry. This was typical tourism business strategy in the Victorian era. A business with high operating costs required customers with money to pay for it. However, popularity of Belle Vue increased so much that it became a landmark for tourism in northern England. Over the years, this zoo became the third placed for size in Britain. However, the aim of this podcast is to mainly concentrate on the amusement area. There may be some time during the podcast where it is worth explaining other detail. Let's jump back to 1970s. Actually, no, it's the 1870s. It's a time warp, baby. So 1870s, John Jennison initially set aside an area that wasn't very big in order to host amusements. From the early stages of the 1900s, this amusement area needed to be bigger. It soon became the showground of the world. At this point, it seems our tradition to embrace the coaster list. So let's go, go, go! I'm going to start with the undated coasters and then move on to the others chronologically. Firstly, we have the Brownie coaster, which seems to be rather elusive. There is little media about this online. I only found stuff on RCDB. It was a wooden kiddie coaster that users could sit down in. I can't find an image, but you are very welcome to post any information in the comments. The second undated coaster, unfortunately, is not known to have a name. All we know is that it was a still kiddie coaster. Okay, so let's move on to a coaster with more significant detail. We have Whirlwind Dipper. This family sit-down wooden coaster operated from an unknown date up to 1931. In media, it was labelled a junior racing coaster. For legal reasons, I cannot share a picture of this coaster, but I can explain that it was designed by Fred Church, who also had the credit of designing another coaster at Belle Vue. Our next coaster is the Figure 8 Toboggan. This wooden sit-down coaster was being used from 1908, but its expiry is unknown. Here I have included a historic photo of this coaster. This Figure 8 Toboggan was a common coaster design during this era. Our next coaster is another name we are all familiar with, but this is Belle Vue's very own Scenic Railway. A wooden sit-down from 1926 to 1975. Sadly, in its opening year, the coaster had the tragedy of a 39-year-old lady falling from it. That lady later passed away in hospital. It seems the most well-known coaster at Belle Vue was Bob's Coaster. Again, this one is another wooden coaster, and it operated from 1929 to 1971. We previously mentioned Fred Church. Well, it was Fred Church who designed this one, labelled as the most intense coaster at Belle Vue. And lastly, we have the second still coaster that operated at Belle Vue, and that was Jetstream. Jetstream was a thrill coaster made from steel that operated from 1975 to 1977. Yep, that's right, the thrill coaster only lasted between 2 years. Jetstream was the same coaster that we mentioned at Ocean Beach Pleasure Beach. So, there is a thorough history behind Belle Vue Zoological Gardens, but truth be told, we are here to be focused on theme park history and not a business history. We will keep it compact. Out of the theme parks we have remembered so far, Belle Vue had the most success. Although it struggled financially at times, this complex was the longest serving of them all. Was it because Belle Vue embraced a bigger target market? It's plain to see this is true, but it must have been backed by good management. Or was it? Belle Vue did have its controversy. They imported Africans from Africa. Some of those Africans even died during transit. The people that survived the journey were exhibited in a human zoo format. The exhibition was called Cannibals, a degrading experience for all those involved. Bringing me back to the question, how did Belle Vue last so long? Manchester and also Liverpool had their first train lines in 1830. This could have been a factor of how Belle Vue had a strong start in their business venture. But this success went from 1836 to 1987. Manchester has been a business centre ever since business became commercial in the UK. Location has certainly helped here. What led to the end of Belle Vue? It seems that the business was exhausted. However, we do have a video interview coming soon where such theories will be put to the test. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.